Hey everyone, it's Paul with the Bold Profits for this Tuesday. Before I continue, I want to wish all of you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, a Happy New Year. Next week I'm going to be off, so there will be no new video. Um, Jacqueline, who runs Bold Profits, amazing team member that also works with me on Profits Unlimited, our flagship newsletter, is going to select a special version of one of the Bold Profits from our archive and put it out. So that's a treat for you to look forward to because Jacqueline really knows where all the hidden gems are. And if you're new to Bold Profits and have not seen some of our archive, this is going to be your chance to see some of the incredible gems that we have now in our YouTube archive, in our Bold Profits archive. So make sure that you are subscribed to this channel and you hit that bell, which is right next to the subscription button. Then the moment we post something, you actually get a notification either on your cell phone, on your computer, on your tablet, telling you that there is a new video so you can come and check it out, and also so you never miss it. And of course, we ask that if you like any of the content, please remember to give our videos a thumbs up. It helps us out a great deal, and we deeply, deeply, deeply appreciate it. Okay, so for my very last Bold Profits for 2020, I want to go into a little bit about some of the predictions that I laid out in our mega predictions issue that you should all check out. It was on Market Talk with hosted by my amazing colleague, Amber Lancaster, and our phenomenal, fantastic team was all together when we put together. So make sure you go watch it. So I want to talk a little bit about my Bitcoin predictions because Bitcoin now is rocketing up on the basis of so many different things that are happening. And let's go into some of them because, as you know, Ian and I do the Ian cast, and there'll be the last one for 2020 that's going to be coming up on Friday. So again, subscribe and hit that bell so you make sure you're notified of it. Ian and I have big predictions for crypto, and Ian's repeated his, so I'm going to stick to mine. So my big prediction for Bitcoin is that it is going to arrive at $250,000 between the next 1 to 3 years. So I'm going to repeat that. Bitcoin is going to arrive at $250,000 per coin in the next 1 to 3 years. So let's say the first moment where you can start to sort of judge me on the basis of this would be December 31st of 2021. And then I've got another 2 years for this to unfold. And the basis for making this prediction in terms of going upness, which is my system, our system at Bold Profits, by which we pick stocks, we pick investments, by which we pick our speculations, is based on demand and supply. As many of you likely know, that the maximum number of Bitcoin that can ever be mined is 21 million. And off that, something like 18.5 million have been mined. And then there's lots of adjustments that need to be made, which is that something like nearly 4 million of these coins have been lost or abandoned or stolen or can no longer be gotten in any way. People have lost their keys. So the actual state of the supply of Bitcoin could be as low as 14 million coins. And so the supply is limited already to about 14 million if you assume that the 4 million number of coins which are gone missing, which are no longer available for anyone to buy, are truly gone, which I believe is to be true. Then there's only an approximately about a little under 3 million coins that can ever be mined. So that sets up the supply as being very finite. In other words, there's something that is very scarce, it's very finite. And now when you combine it with the other side of going upness, which is demand, which is that in the past, demand for Bitcoin was something that was largely seen as a bit of a joke. It was seen as the people who believed in Bitcoin as being the dumb money, the folks that really know nothing, that are most likely to lose money. And in 2020, there is a big, massive, incredible shift that is underway, which is that Bitcoin is now being bought, being accumulated, being stored by very sophisticated investors, um, sophisticated money, big money, that is now looking to put large amounts of money into Bitcoin. Now, there's a company called MicroStrategy, which now has accumulated a position of Bitcoin in excess of $1 billion. Square, which is another very large company, has also put something like $50 million into Bitcoin. Mass Mutual, which is a very old-fashioned insurance company, has put $100 million into Bitcoin. So you can see that there is now big money that is starting to come into Bitcoin, and this represents the demand. If you just think through this, if simply one or two companies start to imitate what MicroStrategy has done, what Square is doing, and come to buy even 10 million a piece, or 20 million a piece, or 50 million, or 100 million, or $500 million, you can see that the demand side of Bitcoin is going to be huge. Going to be huge. Or if you just imagine that other insurance companies like Mass Mutual and insurance companies, what do? Well, they take your insurance premiums, and what do? They largely keep it in cash and bonds. Now, if insurance companies start to think of Bitcoin as being an alternative to holding their money in cash or bonds, and they bring their trillions of dollars to come and even buy small slivers of Bitcoin, well, with that, you have this clash of demand with very, very tight supply. Very, very tight supply. Because all of the research that I have done suggests that the vast majority of Bitcoin is simply being held, or as people in the world of crypto call it, hodled, HODL, held on for dear life, a hold on for dear life. In other words, people buy Bitcoin and just keep it. They're keeping it as a store of value. So if you have companies that are starting to put their cash reserves, like what MicroStrategy and Square have done, into Bitcoin, if you have insurance companies that are now going to put their cash into Bitcoin, and family offices of very wealthy people are also starting to do that, now you've got really a big, big, big moment where you could see the price of Bitcoin really rocket higher. And with that, I believe you are going to see a number of things happen. It is going to legitimize Bitcoin. It is also going to legitimize all of crypto, which is going to flood a lot of liquidity. Liquidity means money. A lot of money is going to come, and to the extent that some number of people who have a lot of money will say, well, I'd like to have more than Bitcoin, then they're going to end up into other pieces of crypto like Litecoin or Bitcoin Cash or Ethereum or Lumens or XRP or any of the other 100 coins that exist in the world of crypto. And all that money is going to push the price of these cryptocurrencies up. And Bitcoin is going to lead the way because it is the very first one. It now has credibility. It is now much better understood, and it now has acceptance by the big money. And one of my predictions for Bitcoin is that I also believe just like no one could have imagined or predicted that companies would put their standing cash, their reserve cash, into Bitcoin, and nobody predicted that an insurance company, an old-fashioned one, would put as much as $100 million into Bitcoin. Right now, it seems unimaginable that a country will actually adopt Bitcoin as its official currency. And I've gotten quite a few people challenging me, asking me why they would do this. And my answer is that it's because if you go to most countries, and I grew up in one of these countries like India, as I've told folks the story, it has a terrible currency. If you own Indian rupees, you know that in 5, 7, maximum 10 years, your savings are pretty much wiped out by inflation. The government is always printing more cash than what is the productive capacity of the country. So people are always looking for alternatives. I tell the story how my dad, once he had some extra money, used to buy land, and then we all, as Indians, also stored it in gold. Bitcoin becomes a better option. Why? Because Bitcoin is more portable. You can move it on your phone. It's more divisible. It's out to 7 digits, and it is more finite. We know that the maximum amount of Bitcoin that can ever be mined is 21 million. So for many of the world's peoples that have been looking for something that actually can be a legitimate store of value, Bitcoin is the answer. And governments at some point are going to accept that people are no longer willing to simply take the currencies that they currently put out, which get inflated to zero very quickly. And I would say that many countries, like, for example, Venezuela, maybe even Cuba, are on a de facto Bitcoin sort of standard already. And I believe that in 2021, some country will do what MicroStrategy or Square or Mass Mutual has done in their sphere, in their fields, and will make Bitcoin their official currency. And with that, I believe you are going to see even more demand for Bitcoin. And with that very, very short supply, I believe that my price target for Bitcoin, my prediction for Bitcoin is going to unfold. So those are the reasons why I am calling for Bitcoin reaching a price of $250,000 over the next 1 to 3 years, and also that a country will adopt it. So that's my update, if you will, on Bitcoin, on crypto, and a little bit of my thinking behind my predictions for 2021. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up. Give me your thoughts below. Agree, disagree. Let me know what you think. Is Bitcoin going to make it to 250,000 next year, or is it going to take a little bit longer? And as I mentioned earlier, this is the last Bull Profits video for 2021. Thank you for supporting this channel. If you're interested in Bold Profits, which is our free e-letter from my publishing company, there'll be a sign up link below. If you're interested in Profits Unlimited, which is my flagship newsletter where we have exposure to Bitcoin and Ethereum, there's also a link below. Check into it. And I will see you in 2021, wishing all of you, your families, your loved ones, a wonderful holiday. And I'll be back in 2021. Until then, this is Paul. Say bye.